My video for July the 9th, 2019 is entitled Mission Impossible for Us Dreamers. And this is video number 3141. I admit that I am a dreamer since childhood. Today I received this notice from a friend, quote, demonetization of all fiat and cryptocurrencies or any fiat derivative currencies worldwide to be replaced by digital currencies backed by gold assets, verified, certified, confirmed, and guaranteed by Bank for International Settlements, BIS, end quote. Then another friend sent me this when I asked him about it, quote, yeah, looks good. I have seen before similar things. But I didn't know posting videos on YouTube was the official way to notify 209 nations. Smiley face. Try again later when the money is for us instead of some governments, end quote. If this 3D world is one of deception in which we are all enslaved, how would resources ever get to visionaries who actually want to help humanity and have humanitarian projects in mind? Are all of us dreamers waiting for some green light to enact a mission impossible? You know, after I received that note, the first notice, I sent it to the person who replied with the second notice. And then the one that I sent that sent me the first notice, said, Mr. Negative and friend, this will be my last post. In other words, he's not going to send me anything else, but it's a long post that he sent me there describing a whole bunch of the details of some of the things that have been reported on the alternative media as going on behind the scenes that many of us truthers, I'll use that expression, have been waiting for a long time. One of the things that did come out, though, in the mainstream media, CBS News and other mainstream media, is that Jeffrey Epstein has been arrested in New York City on sex trafficking charges, which I think could be a sign of positive changes. Of course, he was in charge of the Clinton Foundation, so that could implicate a whole bunch of other people involved. But of course, the elite have been involved in messing with minors for virtually forever. I mean, it goes back generations, way, way, way back, that they have abused little children because somehow they get an adrenaline rush or some kind of rush from drinking the blood or abusing little children who haven't even reached an age of accountability yet. They're just born into the world. Many times they're still in diapers and they're being abused. And perhaps even earlier than that. I'm not sure, but I do know that there are pedophiles that are all through our culture, and they seem to be more in the higher echelon than they do in the normal thing, although people in the normal realm don't usually, they get charged and they end up paying for penalties. I mean, my grandfather, who was a rude, he was a child abuser, but they were teenage daughters that reached puberty, and he died in prison, as far as I remember the story being told to me, and I've mentioned that on other videos. Does that mean that the Rudes are bad? I just watched a 2-hour video with a man whose last name is Rude, and he shared his spiritual experiences in a 2-hour video, and I actually listened to the whole thing, and it's quite fascinating. There are no blanket rules that say anybody with a last name or anybody that is of a certain cultural identity is guilty, because that would make whole sections of society guilty, many of which are totally innocent of any possible charges of guilt-worthiness against them of abuse. And of course, I do still believe in repentance, and those that come clean and admit what they've done and make recompense according to their ability to do so, that needs to still be in place. And I'm very much in favor of redeeming the whole world. As I've said so many times, I'd like it where none of us have to repeat this reincarnation cycle, where we're reincarnated without even understanding the implications of the whole process, because there's been deception involved at the highest level, even though the deceivers would say, well, we gave them a chance. Well, but they didn't have all the information. They didn't understand the dynamics that were involved. And so many people get reincarnated over and over again because in their minds, they never did actually have a chance. Now, is that true? Again, I can only speak from the experience of this lifetime and some of the visions and stuff that I've had in the past. And I have had, some really neat supernatural things that seemed quite miraculous at the time that I experienced them. And I felt I was communicating with God. The one, on at least the one occasion, where at night the room became bright, as bright as if it was daytime, and maybe even brighter than that. There was a bright light in the room, and it was something that was perceived with my senses. It wasn't something that I imagined, although looking back now, I wonder, I wish I could experience it again and have the capability of perception now that I had then. But if it was not real, I wish I could see through it. I don't know if that even makes sense, because I'm just talking off the top of my head, but I'm struggling, as many people are, to try to get to the place where we who are visionaries, we who are dreamers, can actually fulfill our dream. And of course, if funds were put into our hands by whatever method, that would change it. Now, I'm sorry that this person calls me Mr. Negative and friend, and isn't going to send me anymore, because there's a whole lot of people that want you to believe their story, and there might be truth in their story. I'm not saying there's not, but until I actually experience something, now, experience is the belief. Experience is the truth, is actually what I should say. And I can know it, not just believe it, but know it. And knowledge is always in the present tense, as one of my other friends pointed out to me. He put the word know with a lowercase k and a little bit of a space, and then N-O-W, now. Now is where everything has to be. It has to be in the present moment. Past experiences and future promises really do not work. We have to reach the place where we can experience in the present that which we want to see, and that which hopefully we will see together as the liberation of humanity. And once again, I mentioned in conclusion that I'm starting to record my videos at different times of the day, and I'm going off of such a rigid schedule. They will be put up when they're put up, but I still plan to record a video every day. That's my plan at this point. I do thank you, especially those of you that listen to me on a regular basis. Namaste.